morning, you guys. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2023. We made it. It honestly doesn't even feel like New Year's to me. I feel like I usually have some sort of sense of like, okay, the year is ending, like it's time for New Year's, it's a new year. Like I had none of that this year. New Year's Eve for me, we went to the football game and it was so much fun. I vlogged the whole thing. That video will be up very soon. But that also is like, it made it feel like not New Year's because we were doing something so different than what we normally do. And like, I was in a different time zone than I'm normally in, so we didn't watch the ball drop. Like we didn't even stay up till midnight. It was honestly kind of pathetic. Like we didn't do anything for New Year's Eve. So it really doesn't feel like a new year for me. But honestly, I'm actually kind of hoping that doing all the things that we're gonna do together in this vlog is going to help me feel like it's a brand new year. It's 2023, new year, new me, all that good stuff. So that is what we're gonna be doing in today's video. I've got so many different things planned. I'm actually kind of anticipating that this is going to be a super long video. Part of me was thinking like, oh, I should just like not do these 3 things or like cut down this part of the video or like not vlog this part as much to make it a shorter video. But then I was like, no, you know what? First video of the year. I've not posted for like 2 weeks because I took the rest of the year off after Vlogmas, so you know what? Strap in. This is gonna be a long video. Grab a snack, grab some water, settle in. Let's reset for the new year together. I did one of these videos last year and I actually ended up really loving it. It was so much fun, so I'm really excited to do it again this year, but it's gonna be a little bit different. This video is kind of gonna be like a monthly reset on steroids. So like last year, I'm gonna be going through like my goals for the new year. I'm gonna go over my goals from last year and see how I did on them, comparing my old bullet journal and then setting up my new bullet journal. We're gonna be doing all of that. But then I'm also going to be like cleaning up my room, unpacking from my Arizona trip that I just got back from. But really and truly just setting myself up for success in the new year, and I am really excited. If you guys are new here, if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. I'm so excited that you're here. My name is Charlotte. I am a college lifestyle and productivity vlogger here on YouTube, and I'm also a senior at the University of Michigan where I go to school. I'm going into my 2nd semester of my senior year, so this is going to be my final semester ever of college for the foreseeable future. So if you want to see some college and lifestyle content before I graduate, make sure you subscribe to the channel down below. I'm going to be vlogging so much this year. I'm so excited. I am going to be doing a whole separate video on like getting ready for a new semester. So we're not going to be doing anything like school-ish in this video. It's purely just going to be like lifestyle, if that makes sense. So I made my bed like you guys saw in the beginning. Now I'm gonna get started on unpacking my suitcases. If you guys didn't know, I went to Arizona with my family to go see Michigan play TCU in the Fiesta Bowl semifinals. We did not win, unfortunately. I'm very sad about it, but it was still a really fun trip. I think I've already mentioned I'll be doing a whole vlog about that as well, so that's coming soon. But I did have to pack a lot of stuff because I went home back to Maine for Christmas break, and then we also went to Arizona during the break. So I had a lot of things that I packed. I have my big suitcase, and then I have a carry-on suitcase, and then I also have my backpack, and I need to unpack all of them and kind of like get my room back to functioning order. Then I'm also just gonna be doing a little bit of housekeeping. I washed my sheets before I left, so those are nice and clean, which is always so nice. My room is very organized right now, but I want to clean it anyway just to really start the new year off on a good foot. So I know a lot of you guys have enjoyed the cleaning montages that I do in my monthly reset vlogs. So strap in. Welcome to a cleaning montage, the first cleaning montage of 2023.
Only
Okay, my room is all clean. Literally the best feeling ever. Such a nice way to start a new year off on the right foot. I ended up doing a lot more cleaning than I thought I would. I really just like got into a groove and it felt really nice to clean everything up. So we spent a good 2 hours cleaning probably. Now though, I want to go over all of my 2022 goals and see how I did, see if we met all my goals, if there's anything that I need to improve on or transfer to next year. So this is my bullet journal from 2022. I have filled it all the way up. It is quite full. And just like last year, I ended up doing a little collage of the entire year. In the back pages, I intentionally leave like 20 or so pages in the back blank so that I can print out a bunch of pictures and like have the entire year, like all of my important memories just kind of cataloged right here at the end of the bullet journal. So this was super fun to put together. I printed out all the pictures at home. I kept some important things, like this was my name tag from my door at my old apartment, summer memories, like when we went to Canada, I kept like my aquarium ticket. So it's just a bunch of stuff like that I kept and I put in this little end of the bullet journal spread. Okay though, to go over my goals, we have to flip all the way back to the very beginning of my journal, to my goals page. I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna do. I'll probably just take a picture of these and put them on the screen. I think that'll be easiest. So for 2022, I divided my goals up into 6 sections, I think. 1, 2, 6, yeah. 6 sections. So we have school, YouTube, lifestyle, professional, like career, health, and fitness. So we're gonna go over all the goals in each one. So my first school goal was to get a 4.0 GPA, and I actually did accomplish this goal last semester, like the fall semester that just wrapped up. I ended up getting A's in all of my classes and I ended up with a 4.0 GPA, which was really, really exciting. My second goal was to find a special study spot. You know, I think I did do this. It's not like my own personal place, but I do have like my little routine and the places that I go, you know, during the school day that I go get some work done. So I'm gonna count that as a win. Third school goal was to have at least 1 office hour meeting with every professor and every like GSI, which is basically Michigan's version of a teaching assistant. It stands for graduate student instructor. I did not do this, but I didn't really feel the need to. Like, I think why I put this on here was that I wanted to like form more personal relationships with my professors, even if I didn't need help in the class. So, I didn't do that. Whoops. And then my last goal for school was to join the film club. I also didn't do that, but I also didn't try for that because I realized when I got to campus last semester that that wasn't something that I actually wanted to do. That one kind of cancels out. Okay, next up we have my goals for YouTube. This one is such a fun list because I achieved every goal in here. First up was 1,500 subscribers, which is insane that I set my sights so low at the end of 2021 when I was setting these goals. Like, I don't know, I feel like I had little faith, but we ended up with over 15,000. So I would say that we hit this goal. And then you can see I was like adding extra goals throughout the year as I hit this, because I actually ended up hitting 1,500 subscribers in April. I was like, well, I feel like I need to reset the goal for the rest of the year. Like, there's 8 months left of the year. So I ended up upping it to 5,000. We hit that. I upped it to 7,000. We hit that. And I just stopped setting goals because I couldn't predict where it was going. In the similar vein, I was hoping for 6,000 watch hours. Watch hours are basically like how many hours of my content collectively my audience watches. So like you watching this video, say it's 30 minutes long, counts as half of a watch hour. Multiply that by however many people watch the video. That's kind of what that is. So my goal was 6,000 and I ended up with 113.7 thousand. So to say my sights were low is quite an understatement. And the third thing to go along with that, I had my goal of 100,000 views, which when I set this goal, I vividly remember thinking like, oh my gosh, this is so ambitious. Like, I'm never gonna hit this. I ended up with 1.3 million views in 2022. So I don't even know like how to, We're gonna get to setting my goals for 2023, but I'm not setting those goals again. Like I'm skipping out on watch hours and views goals because I clearly have no idea what I'm talking about and it's so hard to predict. Okay, moving on. My next goal was to get 3 or more checks from YouTube. So basically to get paid for 3+ months. And I did do that. I have been consistently getting paid by YouTube since April, which is really exciting. You guys have, that's like all you guys have allowed me to really like turn this into a job, which is so amazing. Then at one point I was thinking I'd like to get one $500 check from YouTube, and almost every check I've gotten from YouTube is more than $500. So I cannot thank you guys enough. That is literally all you guys. It's been wild. Next, I wanted to upload 50 videos. I am like 1000% sure that I did this because I uploaded 24 videos in December alone, but I want to check. It looks like I uploaded 88, but that could be completely wrong. That's just kind of like eyeballing. My last goal was to get 3 or more sponsorships. Around the middle of the year, after I'd already gotten 3 sponsorships, I added paid sponsorships in parentheses. So obviously I did achieve that goal, which is so cool. And then my last goal for YouTube was to do Vlogmas, and I did do Vlogmas. To be completely honest, I am not sure if I'm gonna do Vlogmas next year. This year was just a lot, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the year before, but that's also literally a year away, and I'm gonna be in a completely different phase of my life. Like, I'm not gonna be a student anymore. I'm gonna be living in a new place, in a new city, with hopefully a new job, so I'm not making any predictions. I'm not saying yes or no one way or the other. So those are all my YouTube goals. Let's move on to my lifestyle goals. First goal that I had was to read 10 books. I did achieve this. I actually ended up reading 16 books, I think. My next lifestyle goal was to have less than 6 hours a day of screen time. And I can't say for sure whether or not I got this for the whole year, but I have been consistently less than 6 hours for the whole month of December. I've honestly been consistently like right around the 5-hour mark, which is like really good for me. So I can't say for sure if it was the entire year that I did this, but I'm calling this a win because I have been spending significantly less time on my phone. The next one was to make my bed every day. Again, I can't guarantee that I did this 365 times in 2022, but I did it most days, and I'm counting that as a win. It became part of my routine, which is kind of what I was going for. Clean once a week. Again, I'm counting that as a win. I felt very like clean and organized throughout this whole year. There were only a couple of times where I was like, oh my God, like I need to clean right now. Most of the time when I clean, it's kind of just like to keep myself feeling refreshed and organized, but I've never truly felt like, oh my God, this place is a mess. I can't function in here. So that's a win. The next lifestyle goal was to make new friends. I did make new friends. I love making new friends, and I think like the beginning of semesters, like especially when you're in school, is such a great time to do that because you're starting new classes. That's how I ended up meeting a lot of my friends, so that one was a win. And my final lifestyle goal was to be open to love. I have been chronically single for quite a long time, but I was open. I gave it a shot. I was on dating apps. I went out on a couple of dates. Nothing came to fruition. I'm still single, but I gave it a try, and I'm gonna continue to try in the new year. All right, we're gonna speed this up. Next, let's move on. These are my professional goals that I had for 2022. There were only 3 of them. The first one was to get a summer internship in the comm or media field. I did end up doing this, although it wasn't an internship, it was a part-time job. I ended up working for one of my professors, and that was like a really cool experience, but it was in the exact field that I wanna go into, so that one was a win. Next, I wanted to have $4,000 or more in savings from the summer. Again, I was able to do that. I was very fortunate to have YouTube plus my job with my professor, plus for like a short amount of time, I had another job as well. So I was very financially stable this summer. It was a good feeling for sure. And finally, my last goal was to start building a network, which I was also able to do. Working with my professor was such a huge part of that because that is like almost all of networking is just like who you know and learning how to apply those connections. So I do feel like I started to build a network, which is really cool. Okay, next up we have my health goals. First, we have drink 1 or more bottles of water per day. I tried to drink a lot of water this year. I feel like I'm getting a lot better about drinking water regularly. So I'm calling this one a win. Next, we have a roughly 8-hour sleep schedule. I did do this for sure. Obviously, there were some nights where I didn't get 8 hours, but for the most part, I sleep 8-ish hours a night, which I am really fortunate to be able to do because I know a lot of students with like harder majors get like 3 and 4 hours of sleep per night, and that just sounds terrible. And then my last goal for health, which is honestly more of a lifestyle goal, but I think I was counting this towards like mental health, is to bullet journal daily. And although I didn't actually write like in this physical journal daily, I did adopt some other like journaling techniques that I'm counting towards that. So I started using Notion over the summer, and I absolutely fell in love with Notion. You guys know I love Notion. And I also started using Finch, which is an app that I have on my phone. So I would journal on those two as well as my bullet journal, and like I'm counting those all. I'm kind of like lumping them all together. And finally, my last 3 goals of 2022 were fitness related. Firstly, I wanted to close my exercise ring 3 times a week. I did do that. I wear my Apple Watch literally every single day if I can. And I was able to close my exercise ring like mostly every day, which is pretty nice in my humble opinion. Next, I wanted to do 4 Chloe Ting challenges. That was very ambitious of me. I'm not sure why I set that at 4, but I didn't meet that. I ended up doing 2 Chloe Ting challenges. I did one right at the beginning of last year and then one over the summer. And I do really, really like Chloe Ting challenges, but they tend to put me in this like, I'm working out every day for a month and then I'm not working out at all ever for like 3 months kind of mindset. So what I kind of started doing instead is like I'll go on hot girl walks and I'll do like a 30-minute Pilates class, kind of more of like an everyday or like every other day kind of thing, rather than the like super intense 30 days of cardio and HIIT workouts. Don't get me wrong, I still love Chloe Ting. I'm very strongly considering doing her new workout challenge that she, I think, dropped yesterday, the day before. Very recently just dropped that, but I'm not going to try to do 4 of them. And then my last fitness goal was to start lifting weights. I did like kind of do this a little bit over the summer. We got this program called Tonal that has like digital weights, but I didn't do it on any kind of consistent basis. So I'm not going to count this as an achieved goal because I didn't do it. But those are all of the 2022 goals. I feel like there were a lot of them, but at the same time, I feel like they must have been reasonable and attainable because I feel like I hit a lot of them. That is going to be the end of my 2022 bullet journal. She has served me so well. I love this journal so much. She is bursting at the seams, but I loved this journal so much. I definitely, I think, want to pivot the way that I do my journaling a little bit in 2023. Depending on how long you guys have been following along, you know that I used to use my planner, my bullet journal as a planner. So I would make these like weekly spreads and then write my to-do list in for every day of the week. And that was what took up like the bulk of my bullet journal. But since downloading Notion and Finch, like I mentioned earlier, I really don't use this method anymore because it's just not as efficient. So I think I'm not going to do this anymore, and I'm going to make my bullet journal a little bit more like my creative outlet. So I'm going to be doing a lot more like book reviews and like, you know, trip collages and this kind of thing. And then there's also one other thing, my habit trackers. I'm gonna like expand my habit tracker. I'm gonna have like a sleep tracker, a phone tracker, all that stuff. But that is all for the new bullet journal, which I got in the mail yesterday. I also went a little crazy and ordered a bunch of supplies that I probably don't need, but you only live once. So are you guys ready to see the new journal? I'm so excited. Here she is. Oh, I love her. So I just got this journal from Amazon. I will link it down below, but it's basically the same exact thing as my 2022 one, just in a different color and with a different little design on the front. So I have been sketching out all of the spreads that I want to do, and we're gonna work on them right now. I'm gonna actually like fill them in with my brand new pens that I got. I went a little crazy, like I said. So I got 3 sets of the Tombow brush pens. I got primary colors, secondary colors, and then tropical colors. So there's, I think, 30 of them here. And then I also got these little like lettering pens to write out like my headers and that kind of thing. So I've already planned out my theme. I think I'm gonna go to match the cover. I'm gonna go a little bit more neutral, kind of like the theme of my room, basically like whites, neutrals, and plants is what I'm going for. So I sketched all of them out. We are going to make these spreads right now. I am so excited. I have no idea how long this is gonna take me, so it might be dark when you see me again, but we're gonna have a good time.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way.
Okay, so I was right. That did take quite a long time. It's actually the next day for me. I finished up my spreads at around 11 p.m. I think. So whatever time I started, I think it was like 2:30 or something. It took me the entire afternoon, but I had such a good time while I was doing it that I don't even care. Like I haven't spent a whole day bullet journaling in so long, so it was very nice for me to get back into it. So what I think we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys all the spreads in kind of like an overview, and then we're gonna go in depth into a couple of them. I think we're gonna do like my goals, we're gonna go in depth into the way that we did with like going over my goals from my 2022 journal. And then I did update my daily habits, so I'm going to show you guys those and we'll go through those as well. But without any further ado, let me show you guys all of the spreads that I did in this journal. Okay, so this is just a closer look at all of the spreads. Here is my bullet journal. Obviously, you guys saw in the beginning of this segment, it's just this really nice, like, I don't know, beigey, neutral kind of color, and then it has the gold embossed, I think this is like a wheat sprig or something on here, but I think it's really cute and I feel like it fits the theme really well. So if we open her up, you have the first page, which like you can put your name in or anything. I just haven't yet. And then the true first page is my welcome 2023 page. So like I mentioned, I really wanted to go with like whites, neutrals, and plants. That was kind of like my theme for this bullet journal. So I really wanted to capture that here on the first page. I wrote 2023 in gold and then realized that this marker that I'm using really bleeds through the paper, so I haven't used this gold anywhere else in the bullet journal. I need to find a way to either make it not bleed, or maybe I need to like write it on a different piece of paper and like cut it out and scrapbook it in, but we're figuring that out. Then I just have these plants that I doodled. This is supposed to be in a little wicker basket, and then I have like a dangly plant in a pot on like a floating shelf. I just think this is so cute. This is definitely one of my favorite cover pages that I've done. Then if you flip the page, you get to my new year, new goals spread. This is where I have all of my goals. We will be going over these really shortly, but I decided to go with 8 different segments, which we'll talk about again in a minute, but up here it says like 2023, new year, new goals. On the next page, we have my social media trackers. So over here we have each month of the year and it kind of like tracks out. I'm gonna put like YouTube subscribers, Instagram followers, TikTok followers, and the amount of money that I made in that month. That's what these little like light beigey lines are for. And then over on this side, I'm gonna be tracking my follower counts in like a little graph, and the graph is gonna be green. That's gonna tie in like the plant vibe. So I'll be filling these in at like the end of each month. And then over here, I left some space to write down any brand deals that I get in the year. Then the next page, this is one of my favorite pages so far. I also I started filling it in already, but over here on this side, this is my reading log. One of my goals is to read 30 books this year. So we have 30 little books on these bookshelves that I will be filling in as I read the books. And then obviously they've got some little doodles, some plants, and a little lamp and some pictures and stuff. So I'm just obsessed with this. And then on the facing page, we have my media log. So on this side, I'm going to be writing the actual titles of all the books over here. And then on this side is going to be movies and TV shows that I've watched. Flipping the page, this is one of my favorite spreads that I like to do. I've done this in all of my bullet journals so far. This is my moments to remember page. So I have it separated by each month of the year. And then in each month, I write down the most important things that have happened to me, good, bad, positive, negative, all of it. Write it down here, and then at the end of the year, I kind of synthesize it. This is just kind of a log of oh my gosh, wow, that just happened kind of moments. Obviously, we have the little plant doodles on there as well. Then flipping to the next page, this is my January intro page. This is kind of the marker for all of the spreads that have to do with January specifically. All the ones before were just for the entire year. We've got a little calendar of all the days in January, and then obviously over here, this is my scrapbook page. I am obsessed with this page. I think it turned out so well. We've got a couple different tapes, obviously some plants, and then I printed out some pictures of the aesthetic that I'm trying to curate for January. So it's a lot of reading and leaves and neutrals that kind of matches the vibe of the bullet journal in general. I'm gonna do one of these for each month, and I want it to be corresponding to the month. So each of these pictures will kind of get switched out. The colors might change. January, I just wanted to go with the aesthetic that I've been doing the whole time. February, is probably gonna be pink. It's gonna be really cute. I'm really excited. But if we flip the page, you get to my habit trackers, which we're gonna go over in depth in just a minute. And then on the facing page is my daily highlights. This is going to be a daily journal of the highlight of my day, obviously, and I have a space for each of the days in January. These I'm going to try to fill out at night, and that'll be my nighttime journaling. But love both of these spreads. Then the last spread that I've done so far, we have my screen time tracker and my sleep tracker. I think these are gonna be really fun to kind of look at. Obviously, it's been a couple days since I filmed the original segment of this video, so we've got a couple of days already filled in. But for my screen time tracker, we have the day over here, and then the number of hours up on top. So on the first, that was when I was flying home, so my screen time was a little bit higher, and the rest of the days it's been right around 3.5 hours, which is amazing for me. And then my sleep tracker over here, I have, it goes from 10 p.m. to 9 a.m. and I just fill in a little bar from when I fell asleep to when I wake up, and that's supposed to help me kind of figure out how much I'm sleeping at night. And then I have the green washi tape down here at the bottom to kind of tie back in the plant doodles and the whole plant vibe of the journal. But those are all the spreads that I've done so far. Like I mentioned earlier, I really want to do a lot more book reviews and creative things. I think a lot more spreads this kind of vibe in here. I think that's what I'm going for. But those are all the spreads that I have done so far. I really, really like the way that they have turned out. I'm super obsessed with this journal, and I am really, really excited to see how it goes in the new year and really track this journal all the way to the end of the year. You guys, I am obsessed with this theme that I chose. I see this kind of theme all over the place on Pinterest, and I think oh, that's nice, but I'll never have a bullet journal that looks like this. And now it does. I'm so obsessed with how it looks. So we are gonna do a deep dive on 2 different spreads. We're gonna go over my goals and my habits, like I mentioned. First, we're gonna go over my new year, new goals spread. I have 8 different categories of goals that we're gonna go over. And it kind of feels like a lot, but at the same time, I think it's achievable. I think we can do it. Okay, so our first category is my lifestyle goals. This is my biggest category by far because I think it's the broadest category. It's kind of general like personal goals. So the first two, I want to create a morning routine and a night routine. I had a morning routine last semester that ended up working out pretty well for me. So I'll probably just adopt some version of that, but I'm also going to be like, it's a new semester, so all my classes are at new times. And then once I graduate, I'll also have a completely new routine. So I just wanted to put this in here to kind of remind myself that like, it's okay if the routine changes as my life changes, but I do want to have or like establish a routine, whatever phase of life I'm in. And the same thing goes with the night routine. I am using my bullet journal to kind of help me establish a night routine, but I really don't have one right now, and I would like to have one because my days are kind of just like, I finish whatever I'm doing and then I just go to bed, but there's no like wind down from the day. So I want to start doing that. Next up, I want to read 30 books. This is a big jump for me. Last year, I had my goal as 10 books, but I ended up reading 16. And that's only because I really started taking my reading seriously like halfway through the year. So I basically, if I read like 2 to 3 books per month, which is what I've been doing, I think I'll be able to achieve that, which is exciting. I also have my beautiful reading log that I'm excited to fill in. So I think that'll also help motivate me. Next up, we have less than 6 hours of daily screen time. I would like to achieve this for the whole year now that I'm like really focused on it, and I have been for the last couple of months. I think this is totally doable. I think I've been using my phone less and less and kind of getting into the routine of not using my phone as much. So that'll be easier in the new year. I won't have to like make any drastic changes. I'm kind of like already used to not using my phone as much. And my final lifestyle goal is to move to a new city. This kind of goes along with getting a job. I'm going to hopefully get a job and then move to whatever city the job is in, but none of that is guaranteed. So that's why it's a goal, but I really would like to be in the city. I didn't put a specific city on here because things change and like desires change. Like at the beginning of last year, I really wanted to be in like New York City, and now New York doesn't hold like the same appeal that it did before. So tastes change, desires change, and I just wanted to like leave room for that. But I would like to be in a city at least. Okay, next we're moving on to my health goals. These are like physical health and mental health goals, and there are a couple blank spaces on the rest of all of these categories. I left those blank in case I wanted to add any goals that come up during the year. First, I want to drink at least 1 bottle of water every day. I think that's really important. I am really bad at drinking water, so this goal always kind of helps me just like stay on track and stay hydrated. Next, I want to cook at home 3 times a week. This is really important to me. I eat out a lot. Like I get takeout a lot, and I try to get healthy food when I do takeout, but it still feels like a lot and it ends up being a lot of money. So I'd like to learn how to cook more and cook some new recipes and cook at home more. Finally, I want to journal daily. That can be in my bullet journal or on like Notion or Finch, like I mentioned earlier. Then we move on to my fitness goals. Again, I have 3 goals. So I'd like to close my exercise ring on my Apple Watch every day if possible. I know I can do this. It's literally just a matter of like going on a walk every day. So I think this will also be important for like setting up a morning routine, because I like to go do like a little walk in the morning. So I think this is very doable. Next, I want to have like dedicated workouts 3 times a week-ish. I definitely tend to like, I get exercise because I'm like walking during the day, like I'm closing my exercise ring, but I'm not necessarily going and doing a dedicated workout. So I want to incorporate that into my New Year's goals. And then finally, I want to increase my flexibility. This one's a little bit random, but I just want to be stretchier. Okay, next we're moving on to my school goals. These goals will really only be for this semester because after April, I'm not going to be in school anymore, but I'm in school till then. So my 3 academic goals, I want to graduate with honors. So far, I'm on track for that, I think, which is really exciting, but we still have 1 semester to go. So like can't let up, can't take my foot off the gas. Next goal, I would like to have another 4.0 GPA for this semester. I think that would be really exciting. I know I can do it. It's just gonna be a lot of work. And then finally, this one, I always put this down as a goal and I almost never achieve it. This is to start assignments like early, preferably the day they get assigned or the week they get assigned. But basically, this is just me trying to help myself avoid doing assignments at the very last second and turning things in at like 11:59. I'm going to be a teaching assistant for a class this semester, so I want to have some type of goal about that on here, but I haven't figured out what I want that to be, so I think I'll add that after I actually start the class. So like I said, we might be adding to these throughout the year, but we'll see. Okay, next we have my YouTube goals. Obviously YouTube is a really big part of my life, so I wanted to have this as like a separate section. First, I'm setting 35,000 subscribers. I think that is very doable. That's about the same amount that I gained this year. So I think that is very doable, but definitely still reach, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I have no idea. I'm really bad at predicting apparently, so we will see how that goes. I want to maintain posting at least once a week. Once I graduate, I'd like to see if I can up that to maybe 2 times a week or something, but that of course all depends on what my job ends up looking like. But there's gonna be regular, consistent content for you guys the whole year, I promise. I don't know if it's just gonna be once a week or more, but I will keep you updated. And then finally, this is one that I'm actually really scared for. I need to pivot my content after I graduate because I won't be a college lifestyle vlogger anymore. I will just be a regular lifestyle vlogger. So I'll need to do some work on like pivoting my content and kind of figuring out like what direction I want to go in after I graduate. So that's going to be an exciting challenge. Next up, we have general social goals. These are like social media goals that aren't YouTube. This is like Instagram and TikTok. These numbers felt like attainable based on the numbers that I had last year. So I'm going for 5,000 Instagram followers and 1,000 TikTok followers. On both platforms, I want to post consistently. Specifically, I want to post consistently like mini vlogs. I love those like the mini like super fast paced like day of my life or like a morning routine or like a get ready with me. I just think those are really, really fun. So I'd love to post those on some kind of regular basis, whether it's like once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, every time I post. I don't know. I'm still figuring that out, but I definitely want those to be a big part of my content on those platforms. Then finally, I also want to post consistently on my Instagram like feed posts, like picture posts, because I tend to fall behind on that for sure. Okay, my next category is career. Right now I only have one goal in here because I haven't actually started my professional career yet in the industry that I want to go into, sort of. So I will be adding goals to this category once I actually like get a job, but I felt like it would be weird to like add goals right now for a job that I don't have. Like it just felt weird. So my first and only current goal in my career section is to get my first big girl job. Yikes, y'all. That's scary, but also exciting. Okay, and then my final category for my new year, new goals spread is my financial goals. So my first goal is to max out my contributions to my Roth IRA, which is an individual retirement account. So that's basically just like saving money for retirement. I do have an account already and I'd like to contribute the maximum amount. I think it's $6,000 per year. Next, I want to start investing, like start figuring out a little bit more about what goes on with investing. I know my dad and my brother are really into it, so I know they would be able to help me. I know there are also a lot of resources online, so I really want to take advantage of those and kind of like get into that world because I think it can be really, really beneficial. I also want to start paying back my student loans. This is a really big one. Obviously I've mentioned it so many times. I'm going to be graduating, so I think you get like 6 months, I think, before you need to start paying them back, but I want to start paying those back as soon as I can. And then finally, I want to increase my credit score. This is just kind of a general thing. I'm very comfortable with my credit score right now. I do have a couple credit cards open, so I'm not in bad shape. There's always room to improve, you know? So those are all of my goals for 2023. I feel like I don't have a ton of like reach goals, but that's never really been my style. I prefer to set like attainable goals that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna meet. This is just more of like a roadmap for me. I might, like I've mentioned a bunch of times, I might add to these. I might, you know, change my mind about them. Obviously the year is very long, so I'm not like committing to anything like super hardcore right now, but this is what we have for right now. And then the last thing that I want to go over is my new habit tracker for January. I've added 3 habits that I want to start tracking in the new year. So we've got 9 habits that I track now. These are pretty much things that I did anyway, but I just wanted to actually add them so I could track them and see how often I do them. And the 3 that I added, I think will help me achieve my like create a morning and night routine goals. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay, the first one, obviously we have make my bed. Pretty self-explanatory. I just love having a made bed. I think it makes the entire room feel pulled together. Next, we have my morning journal. This is basically where I get up and I use my Finch app on my phone rather than like scrolling on social media. And that can be either setting like morning affirmations or like my goals for the day or some kind of like dream journal, like anything that I want to do in the morning. I want to just like have some kind of journal in the morning before I actually get started on my day. Then next I have my morning routine. This is basically like the bare bones, like get up, eat breakfast, brush your teeth, take a shower, like that kind of thing. But I didn't want to like list out each of those things individually, so I just kind of like ball it all up together in morning routine and like I'll know what that means. Okay, next, these are kind of things that I want to accomplish like at some point during like the middle of the day. They're kind of grouped by like top 3 are things I do in the morning, middle 3 are things I do at any point during the day, and the bottom 3 are like nighttime kind of things. So my middle of the day, my middle group, I want to post on my Instagram stories. I would really like to be active on my Instagram stories and kind of give you guys like a real-time update on what's going on in my life. I think that's really fun. I also want to close my exercise ring every day, and I also want to drink a full bottle of water. These are all 3 that had been part of my previous habit tracker, so these are all pretty self-explanatory. And then my final 3, I want to read every day. Before I had it read at least 1 chapter, but I don't need to like track it like that. It doesn't need to be that like precise. I think like I just like to read at some point a little bit during the day. What I've done this since the summer, this is pretty much like ingrained in me at this point, is I leave my phone over here and then I read at night to help myself fall asleep. I also, part of establishing my night routine, I want to also journal at night. That's where this like daily highlight and then also these like my screen time, my sleep tracker are going to come in handy, because those will be kind of like what I journal on at night. If I don't feel like writing out like, here's what happened today, I can kind of just do like those mini ones, and that will be a way to help me like wind down for the day before I actually go to sleep. And then my final habit that I want to track is less than 6 hours of screen time per day. This is basically going to be like me seeing which days I did this goal, and I actually track that. I have an app like on my phone. It's just part of like, if you have an iPhone, it's part of your settings that you can turn on. So I want to see how many days I actually do this, and I'm hoping it will be every day. But those are my 9 habits that I want to track, at least for January. These might change in like February or the upcoming months, but for right now, this is what they look like. And that is the bullet journal. I am so happy with it, you guys. I think it looks so good. I'm really pleased with the goals that I set for myself and just like the direction that we're heading in for the new year. If you guys have any suggestions or anything for any goals that you think I might have missed or any habits that you think I should be tracking, let me know in the comments down below. I just wanted to say thank you guys again for everything. This past year, 2022, was such an amazing year, and I couldn't have done any of it without you guys. So I just want you all to know how much you mean to me and how much your support means to me and my channel. So a big heartfelt and thank you so much to you guys. I'm really excited for all the content that's going to be coming up this year. There's going to be a lot of life changes, and I'm bringing y'all along with me for all of it. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like on it for me down below. But that is going to be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.